A brand new report on Operation Fast and Furious finally lays blame for the botched gun-running sting that killed Border Patrol agent Brian Terry. The Department of Justice Inspector General says the failure to ask questions, quote, reflected a significant lack of oversight and urgency at both the ATF and the U.S. Attorney's Office in Phoenix, and a disregard for both for the safety of individuals in the United States. Joining us right now to react to the report is California Representative and Chairman of the Oversight Committee in the House, Congressman Darrell Issa. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve, and thanks for continuing to cover the loss, the murder of Brian Terry and all the surrounding activities that ultimately led to this IG report. You know, it's almost 500 pages of wrongdoing in this report.
14 officials cited for screwing up on this, but you say that there is still the cover-up to deal with, and you feel that Lanny Breuer, a high-ranking official, and the Attorney General of the United States, Eric Holder, are involved in the cover-up, and they must be held accountable if true.
Well, Steve, in page after page of the IG's report actually uses terms like knew or should have known. In other words, there are 14 people that were held more directly accountable, effectively recommended for reprimand or firing. But when you look and say, where does the buck stop? It's never stopped at Attorney General Holder or Lanny Breuer. They both seem to rely on what they didn't know and why they didn't know it.
Right.
Lanny Breuer, for example, on the day that Congress was being lied to, in which they said there was no gun walking, he was in Mexico trying to sell another gun walking scheme, and yet he would have the IG believe that he never read the lie said to us, and for 10 months, as an attorney, never saw any reason to correct the record, even though if he had read this letter that he said good job on in the response to the email, he would have known it was a lie.
All right. I know you're going to keep on that. Something else that came to light yesterday, the Daily Caller, through a Freedom of Information Act request, discovered that apparently the Department of Justice, headed up by Mr. Holder, apparently they have been collaborating with far-left attack dog blog Media Matters, and they're targeting their critics, including Fox News Channel, including people who work at the Department of Justice, including you, Congressman.
You know, it's good to be in such great company. I appreciate that. But not since Richard Nixon have we seen a president who puts together an enemies list and has a whole team pursuing it. But that's what's happened in this administration. It's sad. It's not the America that I want to see going forward. And I sincerely hope that after the election, regardless, the American people will have made a statement that they won't tolerate this.
Well, what about this spokeswoman by the name of, she's a senior Department of Justice official, Tracy Schmaller. She's the one who is collaborating with Media Matters about, oh, you need to do this, do that, let's spin it this way. A member of the Department of Justice colluding with that outfit. Should she be fired, Congressman?
Well, she serves at the pleasure of the president. These political appointees are put in to do the president's bidding. So would I like to see her go? Of course, I want to see the entire team packing their bags starting November 7th. But I think the important point is these people represent the culture that President Obama brought into Washington, a culture of division, a culture that embraces the concept of the 1% is evil, and somehow the rest of America just needs to get punished the 1%. I guess I'm part of the 1% for purposes of their attack. So are you.
Sure. Exit question real quick. They've got a tax-exempt status. Are you guys going to look into that? Because they're clearly partisan.
America needs to know that the charity is really charity, and so there needs to be broad reform in those who take advantage of everything in tax deductibility, from the contribution to their postal rates. That should be changed broadly. This group is certainly one of them, and I think Congress should address that tax loophole for entities that really are not charities.
All right. He's on the enemies list just like the rest of us. Congressman Darrell Issa, thank you very much for joining us live.
Thanks, Steve.
What do you think of that?